It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Midday Show. And yes, the Knicks are up 1-0.
Wow.
You hear me, Shakespeare? 1-0, baby. Don't look back. Don't look back.
Happy Hump Day.
Excuse me?
Hump Day.
Oh,
Hump Day. Happy Wednesday.
Wow.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
I never know what's going to come out of your mouth. You know that?
That's how I feel sitting next
and
to you every day.
And the funny thing is that you get away with it. See, I say something, and they're all over me.
Yeah.
But you say anything, and nobody says nothing. How does that work?
Because Lady Dawn.
Lady Dawn. I see you guys are working.
I walk in grace.
Over there, you're having communications with the Queen of England and the King of England. Is it the Queen or the King?
Princess.
The princess. Oh, boy.
Princess. You know what they say? Helen told us we've got this 6-week window to go big. So let's go big.
So you're writing to the princess?
Absolutely.
Seriously?
You know, when I was a little girl, I don't know what year because my history isn't so good. President Ford?
Yeah, I remember.
What year?
He was back there.
What year? History. President Ford.
74, 73.
So when I was a little girl, we had, 3 TV stations, literally. That was it. And he was always on. And I got a little aggravated because I was missing my shows. So I actually wrote him a letter saying, Dear President Ford, I do not understand why you're always on the TV and I cannot watch my shows.
And did he write back?
And they wrote me back.
And they wrote back?
And they actually wrote me back. I wish I still had the letter saying thank you so much for your correspondence. It was like this whole typed out thing. It was before email. We appreciate that you're listening and watching, and we promise you your regular shows will be back on TV.
Great. And it's right before Carter, so that's definitely...
You know what Ford is famous for? He fell off the stage. Remember? He got up at the podium. He was going to talk, and he went the wrong way, and he fell off the back of the stage.
So 76, I was little. I was born in 67, so there I was.
You should have run for president.
Writing a letter to President Ford saying, I don't understand. It was before you could turn the channel, actually, and find something else on TV.
You know, you're so wacky.
Isn't that funny that I remember doing that?
You're so wacky that this will actually work. You're going to get this letter out, and she's going to write back, and I'm going to have to eat humble pie because I think this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen you do.
You thought the foundation was ridiculous.
I thought that was
also.
I see a lot of things you do is ridiculous, but they work. And then I end up apologizing.
It's not a matter of apologizing.
Now, this is a stretch. Princess,
Kate,
you know.
what's the worst that happens?
Nothing.
Exactly. So I'm no far worse than now.
But then I have to encourage you.
Of what?
Of doing this.
We're gonna do it.
I know you are.
We're gonna do it. We're actually doing it the right way because it makes so much sense. If someone said there's a foundation out there and they could offer you visibility and they could help propel what our kids are doing, wouldn't you try?
I said talk to her.
And then I just found another organization that they give away production equipment and props and mics and paint and set design and everything to 501c3s, and we can sign up to be their partner.
I got to tell you,
So
there's
we're doing that also.
more attention being placed because of Tuesday night at the event. More attention has been placed on what we do. So I guess we should do more of them, mini ones or something, because it seems like people then read up on this and they go, this is not a bad idea. This is pretty good. And they always ask me, who thought of this? I go, she did.
It's just things that make sense.
The alarm system is beeping.
What did you guys just do?
Nothing.
What'd
Why
you
is
do?
that? Why are my alarms ringing in the back? Gato.
Gato. What is
It's
that?
him. Hit the it's the
battery.
box. It's the battery box. You gotta hit the
We
button.
gotta find the right one.
We'll talk about it
Oh,
later.
there's two back there.
It's two with
It's one. It's back
Is he
there.
back there?
There it is.
All of them. What'd you guys do?
We didn't do anything, but we'll talk about it at break. Yes.
Well, don't ring my alarms because this studio has 8 of them.
He's doing
Well,
it.
you know, it's like I said before, the only ones that ask for forgiveness are the guilty. So you must have done something.
No, we didn't do it.
All I'm telling you is I got 8 of those all over the studio. If you want to hear alarms go off.
Oh my God, that was awesome. We'll talk about it later.
Wendy's channeling spirit. We got Dana Sardano, the 10 recommendments of personal empowerment. We are on recommendment 8 today for the book club. And let me find where it starts. I shall not abuse my body with words, substances, food, actions, or neglect it by ignoring its messages when it speaks to me.
So I just had to ask, does that include marriage? I'm just...
It's like when I got home Monday and my body was so tired, I just had to sleep. You got to do what your body tells you to do. You have to
And I'm
honor
going to
your
tell
body.
you, when you're tired, all of us suffer. You realize that?
Why?
Because we all do.
I'm just saying.
We don't know what you're going to say next.
But we regrouped. I regrouped for 2 days, and now we're ready to rock and roll.
Yes.
Things to do. We got Medicare Missy joining us today, which is really amazing because I know the older we get, and the more things and information you have to get out there. So Medicare Missy was at Caps Off for a Cause at Crazy Uncle Mike's last week with Russell Johnson. So a huge thanks to Russ for everything that he did and continues to do. And why not do another segment on the importance of knowing what you need to do?
Good information. You should get your pencil out. And there's a lot of different approaches to this as well. You know, one thing is if you're not ready, you should get ready. Because if you don't get ready, when you get there, you're going to mess it up.
Do you feel like excited about this point in your life?
No.
Why? No matter what I say, it's going to be wrong how I say it.
No.
So
Why should I feel excited?
because it's
I'm excited for people like you that maybe will be using this in the future. How do you feel now? Uh-huh.
I got an AARP card. I mean, I didn't. I got the application for a card finally.
Well, you have a card.
No.
Chuck showed it
He
us
made
the
that
card.
up. He made it
He
up.
showed it to
I got
me.
an $11 a year
Yeah.
thing that I can
what it
apply
is.
for.
You
And then
should.
I guess you get a free second.
Well, let me know how you feel after you get that. But I think the important thing is that people here is panic because you don't know what to do. And if you think that the government is going to help you do this, think again. You better know how to work.
Yeah.
I know somebody that went through this for 6 months. I feel so horrible for her because she had to go here, she had to read there. They sent it to places that were closed. Social Security cards had to be in order. All this stuff that you have to do. So I think this is a vital piece of information for anyone, Dawn. Anyone. You feel happy you're going to be going through this?
Well, eventually I'm going to
Unbelievable.
get there. I'm just not there yet.
Oh, yeah. No, you telling me this.
Well,
You don't even talk about it.
you're next up from the studio point of view.
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. You don't know that. Somebody may come in here and be next up.
We should ask Russell.
Russell already took care of it.
Someone told me Russell's
You took care of
96.
Russell, right?
Russell is like,
No, Russell's taken care of.
all right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we've got Medicare Missy and Danielle joining us from America's Best Insurance. They've got all the tips, tricks, and all the things you need to know to get ready to sign up. And then we're heading over to the Nook to talk about the 10 recommendments for personal empowerment. Max is here, Dana, and Wendy. So more to come. We'll be right back.
Finding the world's best coffee. Nothing can stop Don Pablo from getting you the rarest coffees. Traveling across continents, climbing the highest mountains, overcoming immense obstacles, all for the quest of greatness. Experience this excitement with every sip.
Discover Rosie's Garden. The collection draws inspiration from the beautiful niece of the founder, Rosie, who brought joy to many before passing too soon. Her beauty and spirit are reflected in every piece. Founded by 2 friends, Rosie's Garden is a female-owned brand passionate about creating stunning, elegant jewelry that embodies the concept of bellissima, the Italian word for beautiful. With a philosophy rooted in grace and elegance, the brand crafts each piece of jewelry using only the finest materials, including 18-karat gold and the highest quality craftsmanship, ensuring that every piece is a true work of art.
Looking for music that brings back the memories? True Oldies FLA is South Florida's premier destination for timeless hits from the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. Brought to you by M2 TV Network. broadcasting across multiple FM and HD stations, including 95.3 FM in Delray Beach and Boca Raton, 95.9 FM in Palm Beach County, 96.9 FM in Broward County and North Miami-Dade, and 106.9 FM on the Treasure Coast. True Oldies, FLA. Feel good music that spans generations.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-515-6348. 800-515-6348. 800-515-6348. That's 800-515-6348. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Greatness isn't something you chase, it's cultivated. The Ubuntu Girl's Guide to Greatness, written by Dana Sardano, is rooted in self-dedication, personal growth, and simply living in greatness. Inside, you'll find empowering prompts, hot tips, and space to journal your reflections. Featuring vibrant artwork by Dana Sardano, this is more than a book. It's a visual celebration of feminine power in all its forms. Bold, colorful, and unapologetically authentic. Ready to be great? Grab the Ubuntu Girl's Guide to Greatness at ubuntufishgallery.com. Also available as a beautifully designed deck of cards to bring greatness wherever you go.
Have an idea you want to create? Then come on down to AMP2 Media, where we can create anything you can think of, ranging from podcasts, shows, audiobooks, music videos, and more. This will be done by our interns, who are hungry for hands-on experience that will help them advance their skills and strive for the careers they want. Call us at 866-224-5422 or visit us at 2400 Northwest 2nd Avenue to pitch your idea today, and we'll get it made.
Unlocking secrets, doing what we love, with a little help from the stars above. Grab your tools, let's take a chance. It's a wild, creative, magical dance, making magic with Max. Yeah, we're making magic with Max.
You're listening to the Midday Brooklyn Cafe Show with Dawn and Freddie S. Every weekday from 12 to 2, tune in for the ultimate midday escape, the perfect blend of entertainment, culture, and community, all served up with a side of Brooklyn flair. It's the South Florida show that everyone's talking about.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Today is National Rescue Dog Day. It's all about celebrating these incredible pups and reminding everyone that you don't have to shop to find your perfect best friend. Rescue dogs are famously loyal and endlessly grateful. Whether you are looking to adopt or simply want to volunteer or donate supplies, your local shelters, like the Humane Society of Broward County, have plenty of amazing dogs eager to find their forever homes. So hug your furry friends a little tighter today and consider how you can give a shelter dog a second chance.
All right, we're back.
All right, ready to get into some Medicare tips?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we've got Medicare Missy. I got to get it right, though. Absolute best insurance. Maybe we'll rebrand it for America's, but it's absolute best insurance with Medicare Missy and Danielle. Thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, what's happening in Medicare? I guess first comes first. When do people apply? Should they apply for Medicare?
So the rule of thumb is always 3 months is the earliest that you can apply for Medicare through Social Security. They've made it a little trickier, so we do, Daniela and I, well, actually she does all the work. Daniela was, I hired her 5 years ago because my business grew and she was an assistant and we just clicked, and now she's a licensed agent, so we're like a team. And basically, tell them what you do for them.
3 months before their birthday, they need to create an account with Social Security, which is ssa.gov. That's through the government. And I help them apply, for Medicare through there, but it depends on everyone's situation.
You have to do face recognition now.
3 months before their 65th birthday?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep, no sooner unless you're on disability. And if someone applies for disability, it's 24 months from the date that they applied, they would be eligible for Medicare. Unless it's an Alzheimer's situation, they do speed up the process for people.
So 3 months before, what if you don't do it 3 months before? What happens?
So you have 3 months before, you have the month of, and you have 3 months after. So there's a 7-month window to sign up without, a penalty.
And what is the penalty for not signing up?
So if it's 10% a year. So if you don't sign up for Part B, B is your medical part of Medicare. That's the one that you pay for. Part A is the hospital coverage, and that you don't pay for as long as you paid into Medicare Social Security during your working years, at least 10 years or 40 quarters.
And 10% of what?
10% of the monthly premium, which right now is $202.90. If you're, so it goes by your annual modified adjusted gross income. So if you're single, it's $109,000 and under, and if you're married, it's $213,000. I think is the number for 2026.
What about if you didn't work? What about if you
you're
were
retired?
Stay-at-home? Well, no. What if you were a stay-at-home parent, or you didn't work, and you didn't pay into Medicare?
So and you're single, like, and
Wait, you're married.
No husband, no wife.
You're married.
Okay.
But your spouse worked, and you stayed home, raised the kids, did whatever you did, but you didn't pay into Medicare. Are you still able to get Medicare?
Right. Isn't that the
Yes. Yes. So because the spouse worked, this application is a little bit different. You will have to go directly to the Social Security office, but you do qualify if your husband worked for the 40 quarters or more. So
what if there was
qualify.
never a husband, or he's deceased? No, let's say no husband. Let's say that you're a single person, you're retired, and you have 401k, you have retirement monies because you got to live on something, I'm assuming.
But then you worked and you paid into the system.
Well, a lot of people work and they don't pay into the system.
If you don't pay into the system and you can't qualify at all and you're not even close, we do help people under 65 with all the Affordable Care Act, per se.
So you put them on there?
So they can go on ACA, or if they're not a
But they
US
won't get
citizen,
Medicare.
they can go on the Affordable Care Act.
All right, so you apply. Wow, now it gets complicated. So you apply, perfect scenario, between 3 months, your birthday month, and 3 months after. There's straight Medicare, and then there's other Medicare Advantage programs.
So then we do a whole Medicare 101. I sit down with people. We have a very simple process. We do a review of Medicare. We explain that you can either remain on original Medicare, A, hospital, B, medical, buy a Medigap or a Medicare supplement, and a Part D for drugs. That's the way that it was when I was first in the business in the 90s. There only was that scenario. But when the Clinton administration came aboard, they approached the private insurance companies and they said, hey, how about if we pass on what the people are paying for Medicare Part B to the private insurance companies, and then they get more money depending on the different criteria and how sick somebody is. So that's how Medicare Advantage or Medicare Part C was born. So you can only have one or the other. So you either keep your original Medicare with a supplement, or you go over to your private insurance, and that's how Medicare Advantages work. If there's pros and cons of both.
All right, so let's look at the pros and cons of straight Medicare.
A lot of pros there. The pros are you can go to any doctor, any hospital in the country. It's federal insurance. It's not, the doctor is more in charge with that, with what you need. And but the con of it is it's more money because a Medicare supplement costs you money. Now there are Medicare supplements that have a deductible attached to it. Like the G is the best one that someone can get turning 65 right now. And that one covers everything but a $283 annual deductible.
It's called the G?
Plan G.
Plan G.
Wait a minute. $283 for the year?
That's the deductible for the whole year with the Plan G. So if you go in the hospital or you have any doctor,
yeah, but $283 is just a hello visit. What is the cost of that G?
The G is the best one that you can get. It's around $300.
For a 65-year-old, yeah.
$300.
About $300. So you're going to pay, if your income, let's say you're single and your income's under $109,000 modified adjusted gross income, you're going to pay $202.90 for Medicare Part B.
Right.
A, you don't pay for because you paid in.
Right.
And then you're going to be around $300, $315 for your Plan G.
Is that a month or a year?
That's a month.
Do you add that to the 202, or is that encompassed of the 202?
It's say 315 plus 202.
So it'll be $500 a month.
Yeah.
To get
And then
the
depending
plan.
on what your
Still cheap.
medication list is, Daniela goes through, she researches their medications, and then we choose a Part D drug plan to help them save the most money.
So if you're a diabetic, type 1, type 2, and you take in the G, can they say no, you can't get this plan because you have diabetes?
And that's a very important question. So you have a 7-month window to apply for Medicare, and you also have that window to get a guaranteed issue Medicare supplement. So there's no medical underwriting at that time.
Within the 7 months?
Yeah. Another example of that is if someone is on a group plan, because people are working later, because the retirement age now is 67. So people are working later, they've got a nice group plan. So if they are on a plan that has 20 or more employees, they've got qualified coverage, so they can stay on that group plan as long as they want.
So, okay, I'm going to be 65 in March. My window opens up in January?
December?
Or December? No, January.
3 months before, January, February, no. December, January, February. So that's 3 months before.
And that's when I should hook up for the Part G?
If you want to apply for, first you apply for Medicare.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you know that you want a Medicare supplement, you can sign up with some companies 6 months before your birthday.
Yeah, but the supplement I don't want.
What? You want to do an Advantage plan, you think?
No, I'm sorry. The Advantage plan is not what I want. Because my mother did that. My mother went to an Advantage plan, and my father didn't. He stayed normal. And when my mother came over, the hospitals would not take the Advantage plan. And we had to pay out of pocket.
There's your con.
And I got into such an argument. I said, Mom, what the hell did you do? And my father, see, I told you, don't do that. And we got into this huge argument. And she couldn't get some of the things needed done. We had to borrow money from the family to get it done. This was when I lived in Boca. It's a true story. So it's the Advantage plan. I don't want anything to do with that. Because that's scary stuff. I got to tell you. It may work for people, certain people, just not me. I ain't doing that. So the Part G now is a supplement.
Plan G.
I'm glad he's so non-controversial
It's
for people that are
very
watching.
confusing in Medicare. There's a lot of alphabet letters.
I'm going to be very honest. I got to tell you something. I'm going to be very honest, and I'm glad that Missy's here because with her, I can be honest. There are plans that do not work for people. Simple. And if you've been down my history, it just didn't work for people. Now, there are plans that Advantage does work for because it covers things that they need done. It's just not accepted by everybody. I'm just being honest. The Plan G, yeah.
So you have original Medicare with a Plan G, Medicare supplement. That covers everything. Once you meet a $283 annual deductible, then all your hospital medical bills are covered.
And they accept it everywhere.
anybody that takes Medicare, you know, you want to go to some of these hospitals, and I ask people when we sit down with them, I say, if you got cancer, are you the type of person that's okay staying within the Advantage network, you know, or are you going to want to go to MD Anderson or go to the Mayo Clinic? And they, oh, I want to go to the Mayo Clinic. Then an Advantage plan is not for you.
Exactly.
You need to stay on original
This is my
Medicare with a
point.
supplement.
She's being honest.
Yep.
Because of and there's a difference in price with the Advantage plan?
Medicare Advantage plans, most of them, I'd say, 95% of them, do not have a monthly fee right now. A lot of that's been changing because of the government's not giving them as much funding. So they've reduced, because the Advantage plans through the years, you know, they have a gym membership, the silver sneakers, they have a little dental, a little vision, they give hospital, medical, and everything's combined into one plan, either an HMO or a PPO.
Right.
Most of them do not cost anything extra other than your Medicare Part B. But now there's a lot of, we had the worst annual election period ever last year because Aetna, United Healthcare, Blue Cross, some of them decided they no longer wanted to be in the PPO business in Broward and Dade. So all of our clients got letters saying, we're no longer offering your plan next year. So they either had to go on an HMO, or I had some clients that this was a golden ticket because they were very sick and wanted a Medicare supplement and didn't do it when they were healthy. So they got a guaranteed issue Medicare supplement. So they had to save that letter, and we were able to enroll them no matter what their health, because they were losing coverage at no fault of their own.
Oh, so they got a pass, like a grandfather deal because of, okay. And there is no existing requisite, what is it?
Pre-existing condition,
yes,
or
if you do
medical
it within
underwriting.
the window. After the window, all bets are off, no?
Yeah, they gave specific days. I think it was 63 days or something like that, that they gave the person to make that decision. Yeah.
So what does open enrollment mean? Anyone who's past that 65th birthday, is it every year that you have to reapply or look at your plan?
So every year, it's kind of like our tax season. Every year from October 15th through December 7th is called the annual election period. A lot of them call it the open enrollment, but it's really the AEP. And during that time is when people can shop their Medicare Advantage plan or Part C, and they can look for a new plan. Big thing, and is the biggest reason why I hired Daniela 5 years ago, is because I needed someone to help me review people's doctors and medications. So walk them through the process, what you do.
When we first have a person that needs help, we need their doctors, the medication, date of birth. Depending on which route, we show them both. If they are going the Medicare supplement route, we don't need doctors because they will take Medicare supplement. But if they want to go the Medicare Advantage route, we have to call each doctor, ask, do you take this company? And some of them may say yes, and some of them may say no. And we have to check their prescription, see if their exact dosage is covered under that plan, or find a different plan that will cover that medication. So it's like, it's a long process.
So is that every year?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
It changes every
and
year.
the thing with Advantage plans is that doctors and hospitals can choose to go in and out of network whenever they want. So sometimes we're like, oh God, we found a good plan for somebody that can't afford a supplement. So here's this HMO that takes all their doctors. And all of a sudden, 2 months later, they call us up screaming at us, you lied to me, my doctor doesn't take it anymore. And then we go back and we say, well, it was in the computer that they did, and now we're learning that we have to take screenshots and save that. And also we find out who we spoke to at the doctor's office, and then inevitably they'll say, well, we decided to go out of network. We didn't like what we were getting reimbursed.
Yep.
Taking them too long to pay us.
If you're on straight Medicare and it's this open enrollment season, do you have to continue to look for something or change your Medicaid
Good question.
Part D?
No, just keep your supplement.
Okay.
But the D plan, the Medicare Part D, your prescription drug plan, can be reviewed. That's the only time of year that can be reviewed,
And
is
then you
during
can
the annual
change it.
election period.
Now, who covers or your prescription drug plan? Is that again with a different company? I'm learning this with my mom because she got a card and I'm like, Mom, we don't even have this insurance. But it's her prescription drug plan is on a certain company and her supplement is something else and she's on straight Medicare.
Yeah, so when you are on straight Medicare and when you go to the doctor, you want to always carry your red, white, and blue Medicare card, your United, I like United American, but there's United Healthcare, there's all different companies that have supplements, and then you want to carry your Part D drug card. So those 3 cards are what you carry. If you're on an Advantage plan, you have 1 card.
And does your Medicare number change every year?
No.
Hers changes every year, isn't that correct?
There was some fraud, so they did send new numbers out for people.
So you should verify that
5,
number.
6 years ago, it was your social security number. They changed it. It's random letters and numbers now. But we just had, a couple years ago, it started with, go figure, more fraud. And so they were sending out new cards for people.
So she got a new card this year, and I said, "What do you mean you got a new card?" She said, "I get it. She gets a new card every year."
Shouldn't be every year, but
it may not. But
that's why it's important to make a Medicare.gov account. So if you haven't done that for your mom, go on Medicare.gov, make her a personalized account, and you can order a new card if you want. You can see what her claims history is. There's a lot of stuff back there that you can look at. She can name you as her point of contact.
Or my brother.
Yeah.
No, not him.
Yes.
Now, you speak Spanish?
I speak Spanish.
Yes. The Latino community, are they represented? Do they know? This is such a silly question. The Latino community, when they have this opportunity, I would bet you half of them don't even know they're supposed to apply 3 months before.
Right. We try to keep them educated. I mean, we do mailers, we do text messages, emails. We try to post on social media, and they will receive letters. You know, they receive letters that they have to apply. But yeah, we try to keep everybody educated. Miss is always with me, and of course, I'm the translator. But we try to help everyone. I mean, it's a lot of things that are not on social media that should be. But they can reach us, and we try to guide them the best that we can.
I pay a lot of extra money for little things. Like I have this thing called Call Multiplier, which we do broadcast texts out to our clients randomly, and we tell them, be aware of this, or this is going on. We send emails, we send thank you cards, we send annual election period card letting them know this is what you need to be aware of, look out for this fraud. Look for your, there's something that every September you will get either for your drug plan or for your Medicare Advantage plan. And it's called an ANOC, or an annual notice of change. So everybody should look out for that letter around September time because their carriers are required. And that allows you to know, hey, this is the changes that my Medicare Advantage plan is going to have. This is the benefits, this is the co-pays, the maximum out of pocket. And then it'll also let you know for your Medicare prescription plan, this is what the monthly cost will be, and the formulary, because what a lot of the Part D plans and the Advantage plans are doing is they're shrinking the formulary, so they're paying for less brand names, and so it's tricky for us to find plans sometimes for people that are on some of the more expensive Tier 4 or Tier 5 or Tier 6 medications.
That's because of the medications. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting aspect, so Costco has a pharmacy plan. And I compare that to other plans, like Linda has her own, I have my own. Linda has Part, I don't know, XYZ, whatever it is. And Costco's plan is cheaper.
But that's not considered qualified coverage. You can have it. We help people with, let's say you have your Part D drug plan.
Okay.
There happens to be one that for the last 3 years is $0. It's called the WellCare Value Script. We've moved a lot of our clients, including my own 89-year-old mom is on the WellCare Value Script.
Okay.
It's great for people that are on, a Tier 1 or 2 generic or preferred generic medication. Or a lot of our 65-year-olds that don't take any meds. Because if they don't take out a Part D drug plan, like my mom did when she was 65, she was very healthy, playing tennis all the time, she goes, I'm not going to pay for a drug plan. Well, at 70 years old, she got breast cancer.
Oof.
So that was 5 years she didn't have a Part D drug plan. She needed to take a very expensive medication. And so at that time, we enrolled her in one. So she has a lifetime penalty. It's around $33 a month.
Lifetime?
Lifetime. They charge you a lifetime penalty if you do not enroll in a Part D drug plan.
So you should enroll because you're going to get older and eventually you're going to need a pill.
If you're going to use something else like Costco or GoodRx, or we have the
That's not sustainable.
Canadian Med Store, if you can get your medication lower, less expensive somewhere else, go for it. But at least have some sort of Part D drug. Because my mom, she's 89. Imagine she's been paying that penalty every single month for her since she was 70.
Now, is that part of the 202 or is that in addition of?
202.90 is your Part B.
Okay. And then the
Part D
prescription,
is your prescription drug plan, which can change from year to year, and that's what we do for our clients is we analyze
So the
that.
prescription part is the tricky part because it changes.
That can be tricky, yeah. If you're on original Medicare, and we find a lot of people that, like I get a lot of, I grew up here. I've been here almost 50 years from Ohio, and I get a lot of my friends calling me now because we're all getting up there in age or we're helping our parents. Like, hey, Missy, my mom's, because they don't notice it's coming out of their Social Security check. So the Part D, they don't realize sometimes if they don't look at that annual notice of change in September, that their drug plan is costing them $110 a month.
Yeah.
So when they go, oh my gosh, and we've been able to be like the hero with some of our friends. I put them on the WellCare value script, and that's a lot of money for a senior that's on a fixed budget to save every month.
8 years ago, when I had my episode, they gave me a diabetic pen. And it was in the news how medicine for diabetes was very expensive. And I don't know who the president was. It might have been Trump, I don't know. They were trying to get the price reduced. Then I found out that if you knew how to buy the medicine, and you knew how to put it in a syringe, and you knew how to apply it, you can cut the price down, right? So I said, what do I look like, a doctor? How do I know if it ain't water? Who the hell knows what it is? So a plan came out where I got 5 pens, enough to last me 2 weeks each pen or whatever it was, for $200, which was amazing. So everybody says, well, who do you know? You know, a street guy, or what is going on here? But it was available, but the information wasn't available. People didn't know. Do you remember this? People did not know that it existed. You just had to know where to go look for it. So every time, she makes fun of me because I went through this with my mom, my dad. I remember choosing incorrectly because I didn't know the information. Like you just said, the Plan G that will cover everything if you want it. At least it's an option. And if you don't take it in that 7-month window, then all bets are off. And then you have to sort of qualify and apply and everything else and pay the penalty for not applying earlier. Is that the way that works too?
So then the general enrollment period would kick in. So they'd have to wait until it's July. I believe it's July or January. And then you would go for a certain period without having Medicare Part B. Because
Gotcha.
A, you can take and it's free. But B, you got to pay for. So
your medical. And D's prescription.
If someone is collecting Social Security, they're automatically going to be enrolled in Medicare A and B, unless they tell them they don't want it.
Okay, so that's good. So A and B are taken care of, and then we have to work on D and G.
D or your Medicare supplements. So that's a whole nother conversation. The Medicare supplements, the G is the best, but I started to say earlier that there's a high deductible G. It's a lot more affordable.
What's the deductible on G?
It's $2,950 for the year.
That's still not bad.
And that you can get for under $100 a month.
Really? So
we are trying to educate our clients that have the Advantage plans, because the Advantage plans, a lot of them, the max out of pocket has gone up to in the $6,000 and $7,000 and $10,000 range. You're better off to just go on if you can qualify now, on a high deductible G. It's under $100 a month, depending on their age. If they're up there in age, it's going to be over $100.
That's only if you have the low generic prescriptions. If you have someone,
no, that's just Medicare. See, this is how confusing Medicare is.
Across the board.
D is drugs.
Right.
We're talking about a Medicare supplement.
Oh, back to B.
Which is for hospital and medical, A and B.
Supplements are unbelievable. My dad's hospital bill, I don't even know what it was because Medicare covered it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. but he passed away on life support, on everything. I can't, but we never got a bill because that was Medicare, and a supplement must have taken care of everything.
Absolutely.
So things like that there is no way anyone could afford that, even on 24, 48 hours. It was crucial. And
there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
We've had a client that passed away recently. We tried so hard to get him, he had a stroke, and we tried so hard to get him on a Medicare supplement. Because sometimes if you move, they were maybe going to move in with their daughter. If they moved outside of the service area of their Medicare Advantage plan, that would create a situation where they would lose coverage and be able to get a supplement. But they decided to stay in Florida, and so he was trying to get physical therapy and occupational speech therapy, everything that he needed to thrive and stay alive, and the Advantage plan wasn't approving it. They were denying, and he ended up passing, and I think he would have made it.
Wow.
Honestly, I mean, had he had the ability to get the physical therapy and all the different therapies that he needed.
That's what you want to avoid.
All right, how do people reach out to you? Find you questions?
They can call 561-302-8604. Also, they can email us at mkirby@absolutebestins.com. And Daniela's information is on my voicemail, and she answers all my emails.
And when is your next seminar?
You tell me when you want us to come back.
That's a good idea. I think it's vital. Maybe it's because I'm getting closer to the age, and I see people who are really struggling with this. I see people that just don't get it, they don't listen, or they forgot, or all of the above. And then it's a real struggle, man. Working from a minus when you're at that age, 65, 66, and all that, and under penalties, and you look around, you go, man, what was I thinking?
65 is one thing. Like you feel,
but then you don't do
capable
it.
and confident to handle it now,
Yeah,
right?
but that may change any minute.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you're 80, 85, and things, your brain isn't quite
even
as
worse.
sharp.
It's even worse.
And you still have to make these decisions, and you don't want to ask your kids because you think, I got this. It becomes very stressful to watch it happen. You saw, like your mom and dad, like my mom and dad, what the stress of what it is. They don't want to ask anyone for help because it shows that they might be lack of, right? Maybe I can do it, but you can't. So it's really important.
We do. We've been asked to do a lot of seminars at retirement homes in various places, and I'm happy to do that. But the government is really trying to get AI to take us over, and they don't realize how much we do for our clients. So.
Yeah, but this is the trust factor, because if you think I'm going to put my life in the hands of a computer, you're out of your mind. I'm not going to do that. And if you do that, then it's like being an attorney, being your own attorney in a crime. So I'm committed of a crime and I'm my own attorney, and that's a fool for a client. You don't do that. You don't go into something that has absolutely no emotional impact on your life. And think about that. You gotta use your head once in a while. Your life is important. If you're going to choose to pick a medicine over another one, there's consequences to making the wrong choice. And sometimes you can't come back from a mistake. Stick with people. Forget about the AI on this particular subject. And I use AI for everything else, not when it comes to health. It makes no sense. Absolutely none.
All right, well, thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
More to come. For more information, contact Missy at I'm changing the name, Absolute Best Insurance. We can get you the information. It just sounds like it's so normal. The Absolute Best in America.
Should be.
There you go. We'll be right back. More with Dana Sardano. 10 Recommendments of Personal Empowerment. It is book club time. I don't want to see a craft in Max's hand, so this might be a first. She's got a bag full. All right, more to come. We'll be right back.
Our preschool team provides personalized education and therapy services that are specifically designed to meet the unique needs of our children. These students are overcoming medical conditions that have been affecting their physical abilities since birth. Our specialized teacher and therapists understand the critical role that occupational and physical therapy play in helping these young children to develop essential skills in their early education program. We like for the children to leave us as shining stars and enter the big world of kindergarten.
Welcome to La Mesa Cafe Bistro, where every cup has a story. From freshly brewed coffee to comforting, flavorful dishes, it's the perfect place to slow down and savor the moment. Open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. from Tuesday to Saturday, and 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday and Monday. Stop by and taste the difference at 48 Northeast 1st Avenue in Boca Raton.
Looking for great coffee and a place to unwind? Come to Tiki Coffee and Desserts. We serve gourmet coffee made fresh, rich espresso, smooth lattes, and handcrafted specialty drinks made just the way you like them. Pair it with one of our delicious desserts, from creamy cheesecakes to fresh pastries and sweet treats made to satisfy every craving. No matter what you're in the mood for, you can trust that it's been prepared with care and quality ingredients. Enjoy a warm, welcoming atmosphere where our friendly staff make you feel right at home the moment you walk in. Whether you're meeting friends, taking a break, getting some work done, or simply treating yourself, Tiki Coffee and Desserts is the perfect stop. Don't miss out on an irresistible experience you'll want to come back to again and again. Tiki Coffee and Desserts, the hottest new coffee shop in Boca.
What is Recover Now? It's a movement to get clean and sober, started by you, friends and family members, or maybe even the person suffering from an alcohol or drug problem. Recover Now is a free service that helps people find treatment facilities covered by private insurance to help them start the road to recovery and succeed. If you or a loved one wants to recover now, call this number. It's a free call. Many of our treatment counselors have been exactly where you are, and they know what you're going through and how to help you get where you want to be. And that is on the road to recovery. With one free phone call, my specialist will check your insurance and help you get the best treatment for your needs. Remember, get clean, get sober. Use Recover Now as your free service. Here's the number.
800-413-8365. 800-413-8365. 800-413-8365. That's 800-413-8365.
You just gotta love the sizzling sound of burgers. AMP Media proudly presents the AMP Burger. Created by the producers of the Brooklyn Cafe and AMP Media. The producers picked one ingredient to put in that burger, and out comes a masterpiece. Your mouth is not ready for all this flavor. The AMP Burger, ready to explode in your mouth. At AM2 TV, we don't just create content, we produce experiences. From concept to final cut.
You're listening to the Midday Brooklyn Cafe Show with Dawn and Freddie S. Every weekday from 12 to 2, tune in for the ultimate midday escape, the perfect blend of entertainment, culture, and community, all served up with a side of Brooklyn flair. It's the South Florida show that everyone's talking about.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Happy National Streaming Day! Today, we celebrate how streaming became our go-to for entertainment. Platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Spotify have officially replaced cable, DVDs, and traditional radio. While companies use today to drop big promotions and new releases, it really highlights a massive shift. We now expect instant, on-demand access and personalized recommendations worldwide. Plus, streaming isn't just for movies anymore. It now powers live sports, podcasts, gaming, and education. 1506. Italian explorer Christopher Columbus died in Valladolid, Spain. His voyages across the Atlantic opened a way for worldwide European exploration and colonization of the Americas. 1862. President Abraham Lincoln signed the Homestead Act, granting 160 acres of public land to the settlers willing to farm and live on it for 5 years. 1940. German armored forces, led by Heinz Guderian, reached the English Channel at Abbeville, cutting off the British exploration forces from the main French army during World War II. In 1989, Sunday Silence narrowly defeated Easygoer by a nose in the closest finish in the history of Preakness Stakes. The victory kept Sunday Silence's Triple Crown hopes alive after almost winning the Kentucky Derby.
And we are back. The man with the stick and no mic is at the other side of the studio.
I have a mic.
Where? Oh, you're hooked in?
You know, I don't understand. I have a mic. Just because I ain't sitting over there, I'm sitting over here, don't mean I don't got a mic in 2 ears.
All right, they took care of you, which is awesome. He's got the stick. Wendy's got the stick. We're going to talk about this all. I guess we could talk about it a little bit, no?
Yeah.
Before we get into the segment. 10 Recommendments of Personal Empowerment with Dana Sardano, and we are on recommendment number 8. But before we get into the Recs and self-empowerment, personal empowerment, there are things that Dana brings. I don't mean that, but when you're working with spirit and you're working with a different realm and you're working with a higher vibration, and you told me once, for everything that you do to bring in the light, there is some other entity, spirit, that will try to negate that.
Yes.
So you travel with Wendy and you travel with Six and Selenite and all these great things. But what does that look like for other people who are listening? Are they thinking, oh my gosh, this is woo, or is it a personal attack on you or somebody if you're feeling funny? Like me, I know I will feel things when I go into public places. So when I went to graduation this weekend, I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to be? But quite amazingly, I did really, really well.
Oh, that's cool.
And I find when I am outside, and the graduation of 10,000, I was on the National Mall, was outside. I removed myself from all the people and I went and I sat under a tree on a box, and it was quite lovely for me. And I think I stayed pretty clean. I don't mean no dirt on me, I just mean spiritually clean. For other people, I don't know what that feels like for them. So what does it feel like for you?
You know, it's funny that you say that, because when, as you guys all know, I went to see Pitbull with my 16-year-old last week, and we were out on the grass, and it was really, really nice. It was really open, and the vibe was really good. But as it started to get later, and it started to get crowded, and people were drinking, and it got a little chaotic, there was one point that I could feel the anxiety start to kick in for me. And there's 2 different types of anxiety. There's the being aware of your exits. I'm with my kid. I want to protect her. God forbid something goes down, or if there's whatever. There's that kind of anxiety of being aware. But there's the feeling, everybody. I could feel the chaos. I could feel the imposing, it's hard to explain, energy of people. It just felt uncomfortable. So for me, I've been talking about being affected by collective energy for years. I remember back in the days of the yeshiva.
But is that really real? Because now people tell me, oh, Mom, you've just got COVID anxiety from people.
Is that really real?
So for people who feel it, I want them to feel validated that it's not just a feeling of being around people in the masses. There's an energetic feeling.
Yeah.
But I don't know if people understand.
Yeah. So I'll say this. And then I'm going to hand over the mic to Wendy, let Wendy chime in. But everything is energy. Everything is energy. And I talked about this in my first few segments. We all feel energy differently. Some people hear things energetically. Some people see things. But a lot of us physically feel it, and we don't realize it. I always talk about how I carried guilt and shame all my adolescence, not realizing I was just feeling my mother's energy. So if you go out in public and it's uncomfortable for you and there's no rhyme or reason why, you are likely feeling the collective. And because the collective, the world right now is up in chaos and disarray, you're likely feeling that. If you're fatigued, if you're getting headaches, even if you're getting, it depends on where your vulnerabilities, right? If you're nauseated for whatever reason, it's likely, if there's no deliberate sign or cause of it, it's likely the energy around you. So what can you do? You can, A, be aware of it. And B, you don't have to be scared. People talk about all these different, you could bubble up. Like me, I started putting mirrors up. So whatever's coming at me, it just shoots it out. It's all about intention. Wendy, I think that you should add 2, 3, 4 cents to this.
So very much so on the heels of what you're saying. Anybody, and this is anybody, just get centered in your space and almost envision that you've put yourself in a bubble or a boundary, or just don't own it. Sometimes it's like, wow, I'm feeling sick, but there's no reason for it. The minute that you're saying that there's no reason for it, find some people, if you're religious, say your prayer and send them away. If you feel the need to kind of just step up, drink a cup of water, something that helps you.
Eat a meat stick.
You can do that too. You put in whatever boundaries are authentic for you. You meet what it is for you. For me, I may take out a stick. I may spray some Florida water. I may just mentally say, hey, I need a little help in moving along whatever energies I don't resonate with. Sometimes it's leaving the room.
Yeah. And you know, what we just mentioned, what Wendy mentioned and what I mentioned, was, I don't want to say Band-Aids, but it's like in that moment, what you can do. But in general, I've always said this, the best way to combat energies that are not, that are dissonant with you, to keep yourself grounded, it's a constant state of alignment. Do I feel safe? Do I feel secure? And do I feel worthy? Am I comfortable with myself? It's that work of self-discovery, because the more anchored we become in who we are, the less vulnerable we are to dissonant energies. So instead of feeling them, somebody who's got a denseness, somebody who carries a lot of anger, instead of feeling it and adopting it, we are now so solid and sovereign in who we are that we feel it, it's uncomfortable, and then we easily could respond. Oh, I'm gonna leave the room. Oh, I'm gonna drink some water. I'm gonna throw up a mirror, because we don't have to be tipped to a point of complete discomfort before we bring it back to center. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm hoping that this brings awareness, because before I even met Freddie and before I knew any of this even existed, I knew it existed because things would attach to me, things would change my personality, and they would laugh at me. So parking garages, the stairwells for me, a big no. Elevators in situations can be a big no. So you try to mitigate this. I was even in Canada once, walking around Old Montreal, knowing nothing. I think I had just met you. We went on a family vacation, and I was totally bombarded with, to the point that I went into the bathroom and I wanted to take my clothes off, and I was like, almost thought it was like a poisoning, but I had eaten like cucumbers, so that wasn't it. My daughter had to go with me and was like, Mom, you have to stop, and like really walk me through it. And then when it left, I like fell asleep on a store floor. I had to go back to the hotel, but I didn't even know this was a thing. So for people who it's happening, I want them to realize that there are ways to work around it. You're not crazy. It does happen. And it happens to more people than you realize that it happens.
And a lot of people are shameful, so they will not say it. Especially, I find it especially true with people who are highly religious. Like, was I attacked by a demon or Satan himself? There's that fear around it, and we just want to let people know there's no need to be fearful. It's to get sovereign, to get in your boundaries and know that this is just one of those forces. Like anything, you prepare for a hurricane, you prepare for this and that or the other. This is just one of those.
Are some people more susceptible than others?
Yes, for sure. And the more susceptible you are, I think it's a testament to your potential giftedness. So if you can feel the energy strongly in a negative way, like where you're affected, once you learn to harness that, then you can harness and expand your giftedness. So so there's nothing to fear at all. And it's real, like, do you remember back in the day when I was getting attacked in my sleep by that I was getting attacked in my sleep, and what I was doing was, when it would hold me down, I hear it. It would hold me down, I was fighting it off, and I'd wake up full of fear. And with all of that fear, it kept coming back. And then one time in my dream state, quasi-awake state, I was like, oh, I have to meet this thing with love. And I met it with love, and it disappeared. And it was a lesson for me, because a lot of this dense, dark energy creates fear in us. And the more fear that it creates in us, the more we attract the fear. Like attracts like, right? So when we recognize that there is nothing to fear, if we live in this higher vibration of love and be strong and empowered in saying, I will not accept this, I will meet it with love, and not like the weirdness comes and I embrace it, but not run from it or not fight against it. It becomes easier to navigate these energies. And I'm hearing what I'm saying. It feels like it's kind of out there, but I'm just saying, don't be fearful of your gifts.
I was so happy I came home. I'm like, I think I'm pretty clean. It's like, you can feel it for me. And we were at the graduation on the mall. The entire GW University had the opportunity. There could have been 20,000 people there.
Yeah. Yes.
So I kind of know what I need to do, and then it started to rain, and my son's pretty good with me because he's been with me when these other things have happened. He says, Mom, if we're going to get out from the rain, now's your time to go find a tree and go sit where you need to go. So they don't laugh at me anymore because he knows what happens. Yeah. And he did. He was great. We went and found a tree. I got a box. I sat on the box, the coveted box. One man's box is another man's home, I know. But things like that, if you can find a way that works for each individual, everyone knows what's going to work ultimately. You find your way, you find your people.
I was just going to say,
find your people to help you work through it, because it happens, right? And the first time it happens can be pretty, by the second time it's scary too, because you don't know what to do. You think you're going crazy. You think you're going to faint, you're going to throw up, and you don't know why. You're literally in a stairwell and you don't understand why you feel so sick to your stomach.
Yeah. And if you're with people who are mocking you or just disregarding how you're feeling or whatever, then you need to find people who get it. Because I just had, and I'm not going to get into the specifics, but I just had a thing, an energetic thing during your last segment. And if Wendy wasn't sitting here, you would have had to pick me up off the floor. You got to find your people who could assist you with these things.
Everyone needs a Dana and a Wendy. And with that being said, as kind of a big lead-in to the 10 Recommendments of Personal Empowerment by Dana Sardano, I've got Max Duckworth sitting next to me. Max, you have a craft with you?
Oh, of course.
Of course she does. It helps her get through her meditation time. All right, we are on 10 Recs. We are on recommendment number 8. So, shall we roll your intro?
Sure, roll the intro.
All right, let's roll it.
This segment has been sponsored by the Ubuntu Room. Come join Dana Sardano as she offers life-changing advice that will affect the spiritual, emotional, and physical aspects of your being. Within her easily available writings, you will find the solution you need for your problems. Tune in to the Ubuntu Room on the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, and this is the Ubuntu Room. I am so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. So we are on the decline. We are in Rec 8. So thank you for sticking with us. Recommendment 8 is about listening to our bodies. We have a physical guidance system, and it works in concert with our emotional guidance system. And as this conversation progresses, we will likely bring it back to the conversation we were having about feeling energy. But before we get into Rec 8, I always like to reflect on the previous recommendment. After we have an episode of Book Club, it gives me time to think about these things. And I just want to reflect on the last 2 recommendments. So Rec 6, we talked about attachment. And the last recommendment, we talked about awareness and willingness. I shall not refute the truth and deny the solution to that truth. And I have to share something. We're going to take a little journey. Come with. But we're going to take a little bit of journey here before we get back to Rec 8. So when we talked about attachment, Dawn brought up the situation I had on my mother's deathbed, how I chose not to go and make peace with my mother. Instead, I chose to make peace on my own. And she shared that her sister had a similar circumstances, but chose the opposite, chose to go and make peace. And when I was talking about it, and this brings us into Rec 7, I understood that my mother was not only not aware, but she was not willing to come in peace, if you will. And my not going was an act of self-preservation. And then she passed, and again, I had to, work through another whole layer of forgiveness. And I always joke how I have forgiven my mother, 50-something times, and I forgave my father once, and it stuck. And the difference between the two, you'll see where I'm going here in a second. The difference between the two is my father came hat in hand. He came with an awareness and he came with a willingness. Again, Rec 7. Whereas my mother was still very, very angry and bitter, and she took that to the grave. So much so that my mother passed in 2017. Back in 2018, I was with a friend of mine, brilliant aura reader, medium, the whole nine. And in conversation with her, my mother was busting through the doors because she had something to say, and she was still angry, and she was aggressive and insulting through this medium. And we don't think of that. Like, we think people pass and they're like, they're with the light, they're with the angels, and they come in peace. No, my mother was still angry, and she still wanted to let me know about it. Actually validating what I knew and why I didn't go to her on her deathbed. Fast forward a couple years, we were in the gallery with our friend Michelle Galinsky. Shout out, Michelle. But we were with Michelle, and my mother came through again. Again, still angry, not but still angry, basically saying straight out, I always liked your brother better. So still carried that bitterness, still was unwilling to make amends. In the third book of the trilogy, You've Cracked the Code, The Woo Is You, I talk about how about a year or so ago, I finally had full acceptance and forgiveness. And in that, through another friend of mine, I know a lot of weirdos, through another friend of mine, my friend, channeled my mother's ultimate resignation and sadness, and it was the first act of contrition I saw from her in her entire life, but especially since her passing, and that was that ultimate forgiveness. Why am I sharing this with you? Because yesterday, out of the blue, and I think in these conversations about my mother and my father and all of these things, I think there was a bit of poking of the bear, because yesterday I got a phone call from Wendy, and Wendy was like, Dana, your mother showed up. I have a message from her, and I want to pass it on to you. And my mother came through for the first time, not only in her entire life, but since she passed in 2017, humbly and with love in her heart, and basically with an olive branch, and also wanted to share a component that in her final years she was suffering from dementia, and that was part of her anger and her aggression towards me, something that I wouldn't have known. My mother, and this will lead into our conversation about listening to our body's messages, my mother carried a lot of anger and a lot of pain that she didn't resolve through her entire life, and she tried to control everything. It was one of her coping mechanisms. Again, we talk about this through all the recommendments, and as a result, her brain responded in kind. And as she got older, dementia kicked in because of that need to control, that pain that she carried. I often kind of half joke that we are all caricatures of our dysfunction as we get older. So if there's things about us that we haven't reconciled as we get older, it gets more severe, more severe, more severe, to the point that it becomes a caricature. Also, it becomes severe illness. It becomes these maladies. And if we're not paying attention to our emotional and physical ills when we're younger and we don't reconcile them, they become full-blown. And my mother not only passed with these incredible deficiencies, incredible dysfunction, but she took it to the other side and was still working on it in the other side till ultimately in our years, 8 years later, right? Do the math, 9 years later, is she finally in that direction of reconciling it? So I thought that was just a really, really interesting thing, an interesting new thing that came up, and I wanted to share it with you, as personal as it is. And I would love to hear Wendy chime in, because Wendy's the one that I got an audio. I get out of the chiropractor yesterday, and she's like, Dana, I got a message from your mother. So I thought you might want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Thank you very much. Sorry, almost forgot that. Thanks very much. That was really interesting because I was just making the bed. I was just going about my business, getting, settled, and then I was listening to a clip about how music is so important and how it helps people who have dementia and that kind of thing. And that was the load-in. She popped in very, very, as you said, sheepishly. Humbly, very humbly. She came in, she was dressed very nicely. She says, Dana's written about all the things, we know all the different stories, but there's a component that she didn't know about. Part of my anger, part of my frustration was I'm used to controlling everything, and now in this state of dementia, or this beginning of this state, I was not able to carry forth the image that I portrayed. And I was just going to say that the mask that I had was slipping off, and trying to make sense of it. And for somebody who's always had everything buttoned down and all all in control and all in order and all of these things, now I can't even keep it together. So she just came forward like, I'd like for you to know that this does not negate the things that I did, and I'm still coming to terms with that. But I'm also letting you know that I was also dealing with this thing. It was very difficult because I could no longer control the narrative. Now people were seeing the true me. And I completely lost my stuff because I never wanted anybody to fully see me. I was not able to. Not in this lifetime, not in my next one neither. Yeah, so she's not gonna flex it as hard as she did in this, but she's like, I still gotta learn something. I still don't see it fully.
So she has to come into
the
physicality in order to
do it again,
learn those lessons.
Yeah, more fully.
And what do you think about that? This is pretty interesting stuff.
I think it's because as you're telling the story, I'm thinking your mom had dementia.
Yeah, but my point was, when I was talking about how these things, as we get older, we become caricatures, she didn't always have dementia.
Of course.
So the dementia was a result of her being so out of balance, having to control things, not reconciling whatever imbalances.
Controlling her own narrative.
Controlling her own
I think they control their own narrative. I was this way, and now I'm going to continue to be this way because I'm going to blame somebody else.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of outward blame.
Yes.
1000%. Is what I think happens. Yes. And then it's us having to, I had this conversation with Freddie this morning. I'm watching the change of your parents, and ultimately knowing why it's changing, it doesn't mean it hurts any less. Yes. Even though logically it's because of whatever the circumstances. But it doesn't mean when those things roll off their tongue, it doesn't jab you hard like a knife.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Right? We had this conversation this morning. You said to me, as long as it doesn't affect me and I can keep it compartmentalized. And I said, it doesn't until it does. He goes, well, don't let the does. Well, it's hard because when those jabs come, it takes you back to, but this is my parent, sibling, whatever it is. It takes you back to, but this is my mother. How could that come out of your mouth? Yes. When you know, I'm only trying to do the best I can do for you. Now, if I was trying not to do, then I could understand it. But I'm really only trying, we're only trying to give her the best life that we think is possible.
Yeah, but I went through.
But she's got the control.
But I went through that with my parents as well.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's like the army. They pay their dues. What they say to me is not going to change my life. Is it hurtful? Okay.
How was your relationship with your parents before any kind of mental?
Best. They were my best friends.
And there's a difference. There's a difference because my relationship with my mother was always tenuous at best. And so there's this person that never really liked me, and it was very obvious. And then as it got progressively worse, it turned into resentment and hatred. And so it's not like, and again, I think it's different kinds of pains. If there was great love, and then she started, use my mother-in-law as a perfect example. I love her so much. Rob's mother, a suocera, which is like an offensive mother-in-law term in Italian. But when I go, I'm like, a suocera. Love her, love her. And she is starting to go down that road. And I have more compassion for her because there's a relationship. But if the relationship is already strained, it's harder to have compassion because there's already dissonance in that relationship. You know what I mean? So I can see how you can easily be forgiving. But if they never liked you, then, it's owie.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially mother-daughter. I think.
But I find it interesting that your mom was the same way on the other side, because I would think, because I know my dad at the end was not my dad cognitively.
Right.
So I would think and I would hope that when he passes to the other side, he's like back to where he was, like this all loving, caring, wonderful dad, pediatrician, grandfather. He would not hold on to any of that stuff. Now, I don't know, because I don't speak to him like that on the other side. But I would think he would go back to the younger, more perfected piece of who you are.
One would think so, but
Right.
we all have facets of our personality. So if there's a little bit of a deficit there, and that's what he came to learn or unlearn, and he didn't, then it's going to come full circle. Yes, he's going to be all these wonderful things and beautiful things, but in this one aspect or these two aspects, that's where the Achilles heel
So
is.
if he comes yelling at you tonight, so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm waiting for him to show up.
Yep. He's removed. He's staying behind. He's kind of like, He's giving me the So tell me more. He's just, I feel like he's a person who would take in as much info to later be able to use it strategically.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you
strategically.
are good with your words.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Yeah, strategically.
Yeah, he was very strategic and precise. My mom has a little bit of that. She knows when. She's changed a little bit, but she knew how to position herself, when to use what and how.
Yeah. So back to what we were initially saying, and I am not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be a scientist doctor. Like, I understand dementia or anything like that. But I do know, again, in line with Rec 8, that our physical guidance is telling us certain things, and when ignored, it creates maladies. We're talking about your mother, my mother-in-law. There's a similar component, an overlap, and that is that need to control for whatever reason. For whatever their insecurity is, whatever their story, everybody's going to, but that need to control. And as they get older and they begin to lose control and the brain begins to deteriorate, it gets really, really bad. And so why do we need, again, get your guidebook. Why do we need to control? Where does that come from? Where is the insecurity? How do we bring that back into balance? And when we see these things, like, why do I need to prove? Why do I need to put on a mask? Why can't I be authentic? And when we start to get these things in alignment, life becomes a lot easier. And then the function of our brain having to put the masks on, it makes it a little bit easier. Like, I'm sure you guys at this point see how easy it is. Take this with a grain of salt. But kind of how easy it is to be with me, because I don't have a filter. So I've got nobody working overtime trying to censor me, because there's no censorship guy. I put him out a long time ago. But think about the ease not having to put up a front.
1,000%.
But when you constantly have to put up a front, and then you have to protect that front, and then you get older and it gets harder, it could drive you to insanity.
Yep. And in a sense, too, what we're talking about when we talk about our moms and these things who are passed on the other side, it's almost like an adult having a temper tantrum. So that ought to tell you where their emotional guidance system or their emotional maturity was at, which we are all coming out of that. Like, we see it clearly, and we're not fooling ourselves anymore. So in this space, and our children now, they're benefiting from where they were. Oh, we want to do this, or we don't want to do that, or I can see how that's hurtful. So I feel like, in a sense, we needed them to do certain things.
Oh, for our growth?
For our growth, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm being real careful about that, because some of us had it really tough, and I don't want to, abuse or whatever. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But
you don't want to take away from their pain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They went through stuff, but at the same time, we're standing on their shoulders to do better.
Yes.
And then our kids stand on those shoulders to do better.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I remember in that same conversation in the gallery where my mother came through to Michelle and said, I liked your brother better. She did say something to the effect of, you know, almost like, not that she did me a favor because it wasn't that flippant, but because of my circumstance, look at you now. And I remember in that moment being angry. I'm like, I'm not like this because of you. I'm like this despite of you.
1,000.
But now a few more years later, a little more wisdom. I'm so smart now. Now I can really, really see it with removed eyes and be like, yeah, all of those circumstances created the diamond that I've become. And it's hard to, when we still carry pain bodies, it's difficult to look at it that way. So you're right, you don't want to take away from somebody's pain.
Mm-hmm.
But the more a person puts these pain bodies to rest layer by layer by layer and becomes more objective in their perspective of their circumstance, they can see it is these circumstances that create the diamonds that we become.
1,000%.
And my mother, with all of her warts, that relationship is why I'm able to be here and assist others in their growth. So thanks, Sal. Appreciate it.
And before I wrap it up, I just want to go back to the 8th commandment and talk about food, substances, actions, or neglect. We haven't even heard from Max, but people who take substances to numb it, people who eat extra or don't eat to numb it, right? It's not only too much food, sometimes it's too little food. Is it working through the emotion so as to, I guess you have to recognize what you're eating through or what the substance is, what you're hiding before you can actually get to the root of it, right? It's going back and doing the work through here as to, is it family, is it emotional, is it whatever it is that you're eating, not eating, substance, smoking, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, what am I avoiding? What am I numbing? What am I distracting myself from?
It's being alert to what your body is saying and really getting to it. Sometimes it's taking all those substances away to really get to the root of it, and that's where the pain comes in.
1,000%.
If you can't numb it, and you can't eat your way through it, and you can't hide it, you're stuck with you. You got to go through some work.
Yeah, and you know, people should really know it's not just about the food and the substances. It's the distraction of social media. It's impulse buying. It's hoarding. It's all of these things.
Keeping people in our circles that we know are not good for us anymore.
Yeah.
That's the top one.
And it goes back to the attachments. It's what are we attached to?
All right, so we got to talk to you before we wrap it up.
I've been quiet because I know I have a lot of work to do, and like I think I carry a lot of grief, and I also don't want to start crying again. But and shame, like I feel like it always goes back to your childhood, and you know I was in an accident and my dad passed away, and I think I carry like survivor's guilt.
Yes,
that's what I meant to say, not grief. Well, I do. I guess I do carry grief. That isn't actually, I guess, wasn't an accident, but yeah, because he. So my dad was a pediatric neurosurgeon, and he like operated on little kids and saved a lot of people's lives. And so sometimes I feel guilty that I made it and he didn't, and I came prepared this time. So yeah, I just feel overwhelmed with the amount of work I have to do because I do often numb and like, you know, it's not substances really anymore. So I moved down to Florida and went through treatment because when I was 20, I was using substances in a terrible way. And so I was totally sober for 10 years but I feel like that was just the beginning. Like that was just taking off the initial mask, and now I just still feels like I have more work to do, and I don't know, sometimes it's almost annoying coming back to the same thing over and over again. It's like, am I ever going to get over this? But no, it's not a matter of, I think, getting over something. It's a matter of moving through it with it. Yeah.
Moving through it.
Yeah, finding purpose.
Yep. And putting it in its place.
Well, it's interesting because we talked about, it isn't about healing. Sometimes it's about learning how to deal with what you're going through. And it doesn't make you worse of a person. Sometimes it makes you a better person because you'll be able to talk to someone who's going through it. And all of a sudden you went from having all this grief to relying on somebody who's carrying that and how to handle it. So there's a purpose for everything that you go through.
Yeah. I agree.
You know,
agree.
and
it's a catalyst.
And the loss of your dad, I'm sorry to hear that. But like they said, you know, you're in a safe place. And it's interesting because I always look at healing as a house. And the first part of healing is opening the door. And you've done that. Now you're in there, and there's a lot of rooms, a lot of places. You know, people laugh at all the little nuances that you have, and I always ask you, are you 12 today or 11? But there's a lot of reasons for the other things that go on. And you're in a good place. So, you know, don't shed a tear for you. Just make sure that when the next person comes along and they feel like you hand them that tissue, because that's really what your message is going to be.
Yeah, that's what all comes Ubuntu. You handle your stuff, then you assist somebody else. It's like we're all kind of reaching out to one another. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because we're here to help one another.
1,000%.
Well, and like we started out talking about energy and a lot of negative energies, but I feel like this place is, you can do the opposite. You know, you can shield yourself from negative energy, but then you can also, like here, there's so much positive energy, and so I kind of try and let it, like, you know, like,
Fill your cup. fill your cup with it.
Well, we love having you here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Chapter 8. Moving on to Chapter 9. What's next, Dana, next week?
Chapter 9.
We're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done. Find it?
I shall not become so myopic in my perspective of what is that I can no longer see beyond the discomfort in which I presently reside.
Yeah. So big picture. So chapter 5 about contentment is being able to be in the moment, and this is the opposite. This is being able to be in an uncomfortable moment, but to see the big picture without reacting.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, more to come. Get your book at UbuntuFishGallery.com. UBUNTU. I say that all the time to people now. UBU, and then I go NTU, and they go, what? Anyway, check it out. Next Wednesday with Dana Sardano. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, Dawn DeMarco book of faith stories. I really think she should host a show about shoe stories. Just saying, we're going to have to get a camera on these new babies she's got on. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stop playing small and step into your highest self? This isn't just a book club. It's a call to action. No fluff, no excuses, just growth. Actually, growth with some super cool people with a shared intention. Join us live at the Ubuntu Room on the Brooklyn Cafe Show Wednesdays at noon and become the greatest version of you. For more information, go to UbuntuFishGallery.com. UBUNTU FishGallery.com.
Imagine this. A loved one, a son or a daughter, has just suffered from a life-threatening accident. They're transported to a state trauma hospital, and despite being in the care of professional physicians, they tragically pass away due to preventable medical errors. As if this was not tragic enough, then finding out that legal statutes in the state of Florida devalue your loved one's life to zero. This is what we are fighting against. Come join Edward Salazar as he discusses the issues surrounding free kill laws and how to resolve them. Catch The Fight Against Free Kill Laws with Ed Salazar on Monday, 5 p.m. on all social media. Learn who we are and join our cause today.
RCCA has a team of specialized therapists to treat a wide array of injuries and conditions, including balance issues, back pain, fall prevention techniques, joint replacements, and stroke rehab. Our therapists at RCCA help adults reclaim their strength and flexibility, allowing them to return to their hobbies and sports. We tailor treatment to return our patients to activities they love, such as croquet, gym workouts, golf, pickleball, and tennis. Our state-of-the-art equipment and therapists ensure that there is something here for everyone.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-228-9317. 800-228-9317. 800-228-9317. That's 800-228-9317.
Have an idea you want to create? Then come on down to AMP2 Media, where we can create anything you can think of, ranging from podcasts, shows, audiobooks, music videos, and more. This will be done by our interns, who are hungry for hands-on experience that will help them advance their skills and strive for the careers they want. Call us at 866-224-5422 or visit us at 2400 Northwest 2nd Avenue to pitch your idea today, and we'll get it made.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
From the ashes, from the deepest part of my soul, it's a message from the corners of the world, yeah, and it's flowing through my veins, infecting my membrane. It is taking over, pull me closer, save me from the flames. All my life I've waited for this moment to leave it all on the floor. We dance in the fire, all our problems go up in smoke. We dance in the fire, just to show how far we can go. And it feels like nothing's gonna stop us. And in the darkness, that's how we know we'll be fine. We dance in the fire, just to show how far we can go. We dance in the fire. I'ma just say what's on my heart. Think it's time I keep it real. I knew it from the start. Some things just can't be concealed. They say that the truth, it never lies. You see it in their eyes, and it's flowing through my veins, infecting my membrane. It is taking over, pull me closer, save me from the flames. All my life I've waited for this moment to leave it all on the floor. We dance in the fire, all our problems go up in smoke. We dance in the fire, just to show how far we can go. And it feels like nothing's gonna stop us. And in the darkness, that's how we know we'll be fine. We dance in the fire, just to show how far we can go. We dance in the fire, 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, creased in the heat. So much desire, and it consumes me, taking control. We dance in the fire, all our problems go up in smoke. We dance in the fire, just to show how far we can go. And it feels like nothing's gonna stop us. And in the darkness, that's how we know we'll be fine. We dance in the fire, just to show how far we can go.
You don't?
Okay, we're back real quick. Now, for those of you who follow the show and have been around, this was created because I asked Josh that I wanted to put this on a mat in the restaurants. And Jojo was going to order 1,000 of these. And I don't know where you found them.
In the dawn zone.
That's what happens. And on the back, it had the puzzles and stuff for the kids. And on the front, it said, have your own show on radio and what have you.
Yep.
And he put it on this beautiful paper. I don't know why. This is not what I wanted, but I wanted him to do this so I could put it on the mat. You know how when you go to eat in a restaurant, they put this. And it never happened yet until I reached out to Jojo. And she says, let's get them printed. I'll put them in. So we'll see. We'll see what this happens with this. Just interesting. And I just want to switch over real quick to the producers. I saw that when you and I had a couple of days off last week, that they took over and did their things. They even did things like this.
I think that's an Andrew production.
It's an Andrew thing. So the three of them over there have been talking about, because I asked
it's a Gatto.
I asked Abdullah to do a Comcast commercial.
Yeah.
Because we're going to start advertising that we actually do them. We do Comcast, we do ABC. A lot of people don't know that. So, fellas, what do you got for me?
Well, it is true that we are indeed making a Comcast commercial. We currently have a prototype which you may have saw earlier. We just need to work out some kinks and make it streamline it a bit. But we've been doing good on it for the most part. I did the bulk of the editing of the footage. A good chunk of the footage was done by our man Gordon here. Gordon.
There, and Alfonso is working on the 20-pager, which we are going to turn into a movie with their help. So I'm going to transfer him with the voices and everything else, and she's going to animate it to move. So by the end of the summer, hopefully we get this project out.
Nice.
But it can be done, and the way they're doing it, and I wanted to bring them in there because I think that they should have a producer's segment. I mean, this is about them. So why don't we hear about them? I'm even going to throw Heather in the pot one day to see how she does the social media stuff. I just got to be careful with Heather because she runs and she leaves the chair and runs and says, I'll be right back, and she comes back later.
What?
So I just wanted them to have a little taste of, because this is going to be going forward, we're going to be trying to do these things.
All right, sounds good. Nice job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Abdullah wasn't here on Friday. Oh, they were here Thursday, then, when we were out.
Yeah.
How was it?
Well, what's it like running the studio?
Yeah.
It went well. We did the. I wasn't. Unfortunately, I was a bit late, so I wasn't there for the morning show. But from what I heard, Alfonso and Sophie, they did a great job. And then I had a blast being on the midday show. I actually, we originally didn't intend it to be like to reach the original normal length. We were originally gonna plan to be on half an hour, but
we just chat. We just chat on one thing. And
whose idea was it to wear the hats?
That was Gato.
I figured.
He
I figured.
rushed in.
And why didn't you put the biggest, heaviest hat on the smallest head, Max's? She was like flopsy mopsy. She couldn't hold her head up.
Oh, that was all on Max. That was all on Max. I told her where to find the hat.
What was she wearing?
The big Mexican hat.
Over there.
How'd you like seeing her on the screen with everyone else?
No, I knew Max came here to meet with me, and I forgot to tell her I wasn't coming in. So she called me. She says, "Where are you?" I says, "Oh, you're gonna be on the show?" "No, where are you?" I says, "I'm not coming in today." She says, "What? We had an appointment." I says, "Max, just be on the midday show." So it all worked out.
All right. So before we wrap up, We've got Dawn DeMarco book. Nice job, you guys. More to come.
Thank you.
You're going to see more of their work coming out. If you see it in between segments, you'll know that they're working on all the production. We've got Dawn DeMarco book, host of Faith Stories today at 3 o'clock, host of the new shoe show that she might be producing also, Inside Dawn's Closet. Imagine doing Inside Dawn's Closet. It would be so much fun if we combined our shoes.
God, I know, right? Isn't that the truth? Because
Right?
we both have great shoes.
Well, those boots are just unbelievable.
So, okay. She is an amazing designer. I recently met her at a pop-up, and like I was telling you off air, that I went into sensory overload because there's cute little handbags from Italy and then her shoes, and I found these boots. Okay, you can't see the boots.
Andrew.
Jeez, I don't think I can go that high.
Yep. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
nice.
but
Wow.
That's not, the heel of
Impressive.
the boot. Anyway. Freddie's like, what the heck is she doing? They're called, hold on, they have a name. They're Sexy Blue, Foxy Blue, Suede Pump, Blue Suede Pump. They're very cute, you guys.
They're beautiful.
Are they comfortable?
For about a couple hours.
That's not too bad.
As any shoe that is a stiletto.
Because they're very pointy.
Oh, I love
you
pointy.
You could play a record with them bad boys.
You know, they're good cockroach killers, but I wouldn't use these. No, I like pointy shoes. I always have.
Those are gorgeous.
Yeah.
So she's going to be on in a couple months.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember the segment that you created years ago, and it was high heel shoes, and if you can only walk in my shoes to raise,
Right.
I think, cancer.
Right,
or
right.
Remember that? And you had to put on high heels and walk a mile.
Yeah, I wouldn't do. No.
But we should do that. You should develop a shoe with a cause attached to it, and guys have to wear it too.
Okay.
I think it'd be kind of cool because I'm looking at your shoes.
Trust me, you don't want to walk a mile in these suckers. You know, they're good. You know, they're good for a couple of hours, and then it's like, okay, I want to take them off. That's my foot. Everybody's different. Every woman is different. Some women can wear them all day long. I can't. You know, I can wear it from a couple hours, and then I'm like, okay, I need to take these suckers off. But her company is called Skystruck. The cool thing about her designs is her grandma used to dance for the Copacabana.
Wow.
Shut up. How awesome is that?
Amazing.
Anyway.
All right, but that's not your guest.
No.
today. That's your guest in October.
Is the guest coming today?
Yes. Her name is Holly Silva, and she stepped in because I had the young lady that was supposed to come and her car broke down.
Mm-hmm.
I had booked her for 2 shows. She forgot. So I'm scrambling. I reached out to Holly and I said, can you come on? She said yes. And so she is someone who was out in Hollywood, California, got caught up in all the occult stuff that's out there, and she literally was saved from the depths of hell. I mean, her story is so impactful. So she's going to lay the foundation this first episode, and then she's coming back in September to talk about how God saved her.
Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how we met, but you have to tune in at 3 to find out.
Always fun. Always good shows. More of a spiritual
Depth of
awakening
hell
as it
is
is.
really scary stuff.
I know. All right, tune in today at Faith Stories at 3 o'clock right here at Amp Media Productions. All right, Agato's working hard and everyone's moving pieces around. Heather's working on some stuff with me.
And the
Kind of
princess?
exciting. And the princess, I know,
The
kind of
frog and
exciting
the
stuff.
princess?
You never know. You never know unless you try, unless you take opportunity. You never know, because what's the worst that happens? Nothing. But if you don't take the opportunity, you will never know.
In the morning show, you made a good example. If money was not an object, would you
What
try
would you do?
anything and everything in life? Because it's not an object and you got nothing to lose and everything's taken care of. Would you do it? And everybody say, yeah, absolutely. Who wouldn't?
You know,
So-
having choice is such a gift.
Yeah.
If you have a choice in anything in life, not everyone has a choice.
The funny thing is that even if you don't have the money, if you're willing to do it, you're always willing to do it. So just do it. Just, think that everything's okay and money's not an issue. And
I said this morning, if you can go to bed every night saying, I've taken every opportunity I can for the day, or I'm going to deal with it tomorrow type of opportunity, do it. This way you never have a regret going back and say, you know what, when I was 20, I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
You've at least try.
It's
Not
funny.
everything is going to be a success, but at least
No,
try.
exactly. You have to walk through the door.
You
I
know-
moved to New York City when I was 26 years old. My parents were freaking out. I go, look, I have 3 older brothers. I had an attitude. I can put on an attitude in New York City like nobody's business, but I was also very friendly, you know, and I lived there, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world, you know, and I grew, and when I came home, I was very broken, but I wouldn't have changed it for anything. It was a great opportunity. Yeah, you got to walk through the doors.
Back in the day when we were up at Del Rey, we used to talk about having 7 signs per day. And how many did you miss? Now, how many did you hit? But how many 7 opportunities per day to make something happen? And people just didn't realize it back in the day. And we got to meet during the book.
But we realize different things at different ages,
Of course.
stages in life, right? When you're
Absolutely.
young, you look at it differently. Now we look back, like I looked at Chelsea's graduation, I thought,
know, congratulations.
thank you. When she left, I was so sad that she was leaving, but I knew she had to do it for
Right,
her.
of course.
And to watch what she has done and grown and worked full time and went to school part time and do with everything in her new city and everything, and to accomplish what she set out to do because she knew in her heart she had to do it. It just speaks volumes on so many things, and to watch all these other kids do it, and the woman from MS Now who got up, who started as a college student like everybody else, and is now the president of this great network. She went through all the steps too, and she said just by showing up.
Right.
Just show up.
have to.
You have to open the
God
door and
sets
show
the table.
up.
Are you going to show up? I mean,
Just
come
show
on.
up.
That's the thing. It's like, you know, he can't do everything for you. You have to step into what opportunities open up for you.
And that's what she said. Rebecca Cutler, amazing. She was a GW student, and she said, just show up, because you never know.
Again
And again, and again. So we show up every day, and our crew shows up every day, and we are here for you every day with as much great content as we can continue to show up for.
Yep.
All right.
Wait,
more to
wait,
come.
wait.
Yeah,
I want to
one more
give
thing.
one plug because
Okay.
I went to the Modern Rose last week in Del Rey. So cool. Such a cool place. Have you guys been yet?
I have the manager's, the lady's home phone number.
Okay.
I
Love that
promised her we were
place.
going to go up there.
When we go.
I went there because I remember we went with you
Right,
there.
right.
And then
It's
she
not the
moved.
same owner.
No, they sold it.
Right.
And they gave me the new owner. I have her name, and I says, I'm coming to see you. And she says, okay, come.
They're booked.
But
all
the
the
guy, the older guy that we met the first time,
Mm-hmm.
he called me. He said, oh, you got to get in touch with them and yada, yada.
Yeah.
The place is amazing.
Well, and I booked a table for Saturday, and then I booked another table for the following Friday. And she's like, "Oh, Dawn," because I'm like, "It's such a cool place. I want to go." And I haven't tried the food. I met Holly there, and she was telling me her story for coffee. And that's how, you know, I was like, "Okay, great. We'll book you in September." And then I'm like, my guest fell through. Can you come today? And she's like, "Sure." I'm like, oh, "Thank you, Jesus."
It's a beautiful place.
All right,
It's
maybe we'll
off
get
of
over there
Atlanta.
over the summer.
Oh, yeah, we definitely got to start making the rounds.
All right, more to come. 3 o'clock, Faith Stories with Dawn DeMarco book. We will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.